The beautiful side of poultry is when you raise chicken and reach a point of collecting eggs and they give you the good harvest, you find the prices on the market are very good, the cost of it is very low. That is when you feel that what you started is worth it. However, what I've learned is not all about making money or getting food, but also enjoying the nature, enjoying the beauty that God gave you. So enjoy the beauty with me this week as we learn what I've done. This time round I debeaked and I debeaked the birds differently. However, the birds that I separated from others that were sick, I didn't debeak them because I still gave them time to increase on the size. So after like 1 to 2 weeks I'll be debeaking. These few remaining, but they are almost 300 chicken. So my fellow farmers and whoever wants to start, this is the point of raising chicken. Be consistent in what you're doing. Accept the bad things. Learn from them. If it requires change, you can change. As you go through your journey, just enjoy the nature around you. Another thing, look at the small investment, your small investment as a bigger one, because without a small, the big will not be there. Or you can decide to start with a big and you fail to maintain it, but the small investment will help you turn into the bigger, and the bigger will turn into the biggest. But it starts from the love. When you love those small things that you start with, you learn and get ideas on how you can turn them into bigger things. So that is why I always encourage you to start with small investments. Small chicken, number of birds. Yeah, my next video will be on the expenses that I incurred while raising the 3,000 chicken. However much now they are not 3,000 anymore, they are 2,800. What I learned behind every harvest, there are struggles. You can plant and fail to get the rain. You can get the rain and they turn into floods. The same applies in poultry. There are rough times. I still have my feeds in store. Poultry always rely on stocked feeds. Till now, I've never bought any kilogram of maize brand from the market or from the store because I stocked before I started to raise the birds. This is my brooder of my 30 growing birds. There is no heat inside here, but they are growing healthy. It is very easy to be made, so I always show you how I do my things, and someone out there can be interested in seeing what I'm doing, and you start from here, because just looking at these birds, the frame of my brooder, how I keep them can help someone to start his or her own backyard chicken farm. Sometimes life is hard, but sometimes we complicate things and make it harder. So without complications, you can start anything small in your backyard and life goes on. Once you get the idea of starting a business, a poultry business, just know that you can build poultry from scratch. That what I've seen in my local birds, that when I accepted all, when I started to get chicks from them, the way they add on numbers, it is impressing, and they don't require a lot of work. You're not going to do a lot of work for them, no much energy spent on them. And for someone who wants to raise free range chicken, you can just leave them outside and they enjoy, just making them a small shelter where they can sleep or they can rest while it is raining or during too much sunshine. So you can start life from there. And I've been in the village for quite some good time, and I've seen a lot of people rearing animals. They tie ropes on the feet, on the leg, and like pigs, they don't have shelters, and they stay under the tree season per season. So people can make money with just a small idea. You know, a pig can give birth to 6 and above animals. The only bad thing we face in life, we doubt ourselves, and we fear that how are people going to see me rearing just one pig. For me, in my class, I should be having like 10 piglets that I start with. So that is not life. You have to accept what you are. These are my birds, and I depict. I used a knife. Actually, it was not me. I employed a professional. He depict the birds for me, and for me I used to get the cutter from the vet, and I just used their cutter to chop the mouth very quickly, and they could lose a lot of blood. Actually, it would take like a month without recovering for them to recover. But right now, when he used a knife, it is a small knife, it is man-made, but it is quite good. They didn't lose even a single drop of blood, and I'm sure that during the recovery they will take like 1 week, because after cutting them, chopping off the beak, they started to eat again. But for me, what I've been doing, they would spend a week just drinking little liters of water in a day. They could not consume the feeds very well. So when I discovered this, use a knife plus fire, I understood that it can work for me, because the process you take to recover these birds from the lot of blood that they lost during the beaking, and the money that we spend on the medication, it is quite a lot compared to using the knife. It takes time, but it saves a lot. You don't use the normal knife. Actually, for me, I thought that they use the normal knife, but it is not true. That is why they didn't lose. The first time I used the knife, they lost a lot of blood also. You're a beginner and you don't want to spend a lot of time without getting the result from the chicken after debeaking, make sure that you use the second method. Do not make sure that your chicken do not lose blood, because they take time. Actually, vaccines have affected the birds, but when it comes to debeaking, when they lose blood, it is too much. People fear typhoid injection, but it takes like 3 days and you find the chicken have recovered. But beaks, that's why some of the people leave them, and they, after the chicken have started laying, you find the chicken are pecking themselves, and that is the time where you have also to debeak again, and you take like some good time, 3 weeks to a month, without collecting the eggs from them. They are eating, you're spending money on them, and they are grown up. I'll take this opportunity to thank you all for the support. I love you. Let's meet.